Certain threats by certain quarters and then tensions in Rivers State have escalated as Ijaw groups, including the Ijaw National Congress and the Ijaw Youths Council, issued a strong warning against the impeachment of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The groups declared their readiness to defend Fubara's mandate, cautioning that any move to remove him could destabilize the Niger Delta and disrupt oil production in the region. The warning follows the expiration of the 48-hour ultimatum issued by Martin Amehule-led Rivers State House of Assembly for Fubara to resubmit the 2025 budget for approval. The Assembly stance comes after a Supreme Court judgment on Friday, February 28, 2025, reaffirmed its legitimacy, intensifying the ongoing political battle between the governor and lawmakers loyal to their predecessor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. The Apex Court judgment also ordered the seizure of allocations to the state and nullified the October 5, 2024 local government election conducted by the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission. Exercising its authority, the Assembly, at its first sitting after the judgment on Monday, March 3, 2025, asked Fubara to present the budget within 48 hours as it would, on Friday, March 7, 2025, commence its 12-week recess. The ultimatum expires Wednesday, March 5, 2025. The Assembly also faulted the governor's directive to the heads of local government administration to take over the affairs of the 23 council headquarters in the state. In anticipation of the pronouncement by the Assembly in its plenary, the INC and IYC and other groups in the state warned that removing Fubara will cause a crisis. In a statement, the INC president, Professor Benjamin Okaba, condemned the impeachment threats, warning that the Ijaw people would not stand by while their first riverine governor in decades was undermined. He lamented that despite these sacrifices by the Ijaw people, a political elite from the Ikwere ethnic group sought to frustrate the first riverine governor in decades. He vowed that the Ijaw nation would defend Fubara with every pint of blood in their veins. Okaba regretted that while the INC worked tirelessly to preserve peace in Niger Delta, leading to increased oil production and revenue for the nation, the same resources were being used to marginalize the people. He pointed out that the trend extended beyond Rivers State to Ondo, Edo, Delta, and Akwa Ibom states, where the Ijaw continue to face political exclusion. He called on President Bola Tinubu to rise to the occasion, adding that the ongoing political crisis in Rivers State must not be treated as ordinary politics. The Ijaw Youth Council called for restraint, warning those plotting to use Supreme Court judgments to destabilize Rivers State to tread with caution. The Ijaw Youth Council President Worldwide, Dr. Theophilus Alaye, in a statement made available to journalists in Abuja, appraised the Apex Court verdict and faulted the grounds on which the juries took some of their decisions. He warned those threatening impeachment against Fubara to be careful, saying any forceful attempt to remove him from office will be resisted by the Ijaw Youth Council and other youths in Niger Delta. Zinami, what do you make of this story?
I must say that I'm disappointed in these press releases by the so-called INC and the IYC, because as much as they should have shown some level of education, because I can see professor and whatnot in their names and doctor in their names, I'm disappointed that they will come up with a statement like this in the face of a decision of the highest court of the land. And rather than using your level of degrees and qualifications to look for ways and means that this matter can be handled in a very amicable way, you are resorting to insults, threats, and whatnot. You see, the era and the periods of threats, and Nigeria is not a pariah state, and nobody can threaten the nation. We are ruled by the laws and regulations of this country, and everybody must abide by it. Every government must function under the rules and regulations of it. I don't see anywhere that anybody has been threatened for impeachment. The Supreme Court has said, come and go and do the right thing. I think I expected Professor Okaba and whatnot to go and have taken time to read the judgment of the Supreme Court and see the list of infractions as laid down by the Supreme Court against the governor. So it is, if we are talking about doing the right thing, we should advise ourselves properly. This is not an ethnic thing, and nobody should colorate this legal system as an ethnic thing, because the majority of the members of the University House of Assembly are all Ijaws. So what are we not saying? The leader is Ijaw of the House of Assembly is Ijaw, called Ijaw. So what are we not saying? Even those of all the National Assembly that are supporting that are in support of the Amewule-led assembly, they are all Ijaw. So this is a political issue. It has nothing to do with tribe, and nobody can be thrown to be a tribalistic in this matter. You see, the Benjamin that is talking that Ijaw, has he been able to produce a governor of Ijaw in his own state? The him that is speaking, how many Ijaw governors has he produced in his own state? We have been in this country, governors have been removed. The heaven did not fall. We are not saying anybody should be removed. We are always saying, let us work according to the laid down rules and regulations of the country. It's a simple thing. And if you want peace, if you want negotiations, if you want understanding, this is something you take. I expected the INC to stand in the gap of peace building and not for threats that will not function. All the persons that we are threatening in Nigeria, all the militancies of those years, where are they today? Some of them are going to be traditional rulers, so they will have peace in their places. So who has threat helped? Some of them are going to be traditional rulers. Yes, they are traditional rulers today, and they are bringing peace in their places. So nobody wants violence, because they know that some of them are no longer in the world with us. So threats of we'll do this, we'll do that does not exist. Shoma, let me remind you that in this Nigeria, a governor who lost election, and was the one who won was to sworn the next day, was removed by the Supreme Court. Did heaven fall?
That's Bayelsa State.
Yes, in Bayelsa State. Did heaven fall?
A day to his inauguration.
In this River State, somebody had been governor for 8 months. He was removed by the Supreme Court in this River State. Did heaven fall? Somebody who has been governor, who has functioned very well as governor, was removed. Did heaven fall? Even in the same Bayelsa State, Alamesia was removed. Did heaven fall? So we should not begin to say a Ijaw governor. That is bullshit in my own opinion. I'm sorry for that word.
Please, language.
You know, so we should, as a matter of fact, leave to the appellations we give ourselves, doctor, professor. Let's leave to those appellations, in my opinion.
All right.
Thank you.
Very well. All right. You have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
What do you have to say?
Yeah, definitely. Like he said, first and foremost, I started off on the show when I said illegality upon illegality always causes a lot of trouble, and I've seen that in the Nigerian political scenario, which is playing now in the River State, this ethnic politics is a very big problem to us as a people. Now, I don't see any reason why we are talking about Ijaw Nation or Ijaw what at this moment. Sim Fubara is governor of River State. I'm an Ikwere man. He's my governor. He has nothing to do with his ethnicity or where he comes from. The most important question for me as a Rivers person, as governor, am I getting the dividends of democracy? Is he doing the right thing? Now, this is a political space. When Sim Fubara was nominated by Nyesom Wike in PDP to be the candidate, why did they talk about Ijaw issue then? All the other candidates that had interest, why did the Ijaw issue come on? You know, I don't like the way Nigerians play certain cards. It's a weak card when you bring ethnic issue into situations like this. Just like my co-speaker said, when you answer the name professor and you answer all sorts of names, and it can be clear to you in your professorship and all the education you had that playing ethnic politics makes you lower. It shows that intellectually nothing was added to the school you went to. So we should know how we value all the titles that we give to people. But coming back to the main issue, I think we should stop playing ethnic card when it comes to politics in River State. It's very, very important. Every River State person is a stakeholder, whether you're from Ogoni, whether you're from Ijaw, whether you're from Ikwere, whether you're from Ogba, whether you're from Abua, whether you're from Engene. We are all stakeholders in River State. And once we get that ethnic politics off our head, we will develop the state accordingly. Like he pointed out, we remember a governor in Bayelsa State. He won an election, even practiced how he was going to wave to people the next day, and Supreme Court removed him, and nobody died. Why didn't they talk of Ijaw and maybe he's a Nembe man, he's an Ogbeya man, and he's an Ijaw man? Why didn't they come up? Now, why is it that River State suffers that uniqueness of whenever there is a political issue in River State, the Ijaw argument and all that starts coming on, or the Kure argument.
Upland and
Yes,
or whatnot.
I'm not comfortable with that as a River State because as a Rivers person, I have Ijaw and Ikwere and Ogba blood. So I am a Rivers man. What affects an Ijaw man affects me. What affects an Ikwere man affects me. What affects an Ogba man affects me. So why will you now come and tell me about one particular side? They are all my people. So we should take away that yeye spectrum of trying to monopolize something to favor a particular narrative that we are trying to create. I don't see any reason why different Ijaw groups will come up at this moment. Like he said, what the Ijaw groups are supposed to be doing are to come in as arbiters of peace, as arbiters of calm. Nobody has, even who is fighting you does not know tomorrow, no matter how well the person has planned it. Power belongs to God, like the Muslims say, and I believe that totally. You can scheme all you want and might end up never ever enjoying power. You can be like Moses, you see the land, but you never get into the land. We've seen this happen to a lot of people, not because they didn't do the right things or the wrong things, but that's how nature works. So bringing in, threatening a country that is already economically in trouble. Yeah, why I used illegality upon illegality, I can understand. If you remember the last presidential election that we just had, there was a lot of ethnic cards that were played. And it was a shock. It was the first time a lot of people I thought I properly knew, I realized I did not know them as a result of what played out. And where has it kept us today as a people? We need to come together and find what unites us more as Rivers people, as Nigerians, rather than allowing certain people to play ethnic politics with us. This is a problem of Rivers State. Supreme Court has mandated that our funds be frozen. CBN, Accountant General, these are issues that will affect Rivers State people economically, whether you're Ijaw, whether you're Ogoni, whether you're even what they call them, Oyibo aspect of Rivers, all of them are Rivers people. So when we play this politics of bringing in ethnicity, it's very, very irritating and it disgusts me.
You're right.
I expect stakeholders, because I know Ijaw has produced a lot of great people in this nation. The Ijaw people are great people. What I expect the Ijaw stakeholders to do is to come and calm everybody's head. What is going on here? How can we remedy this? River State is the oldest Ijaw state, if you have to put it that way, from when states were beginning to be created. So let this not be let's go beyond that thought of Ijaw people. Okay, if the Ijaw people, the people that are threatening, you shoot up River State, you shoot up this thing, are Ijaw people not going to suffer too? Is Ijaw land not going to be polluted? So you can't add illegality on illegality.
Right.
This is a time for those that think well to think well. Like I've always said, we should eliminate political jobbers and get strategists and right-thinking people into our politics. Before we have big problems.
All right. Now, even more concerning the exact language that Professor Benjamin Okaba used, he said he vowed that Ijaw Nation would defend Fubara with every pint of blood in their veins. Now, that statement, it's a very strong one, and it's a clear indication of violence. It's a clear indication of violence. And then Asari Dokubo, on one hand, has been, screaming blue murder since this 48 hours ultimatum, was given for the presentation of the 2025 budget. Zinami, what do you have to say to these direct statements of threats and violence?
You see, I have already said what I'm supposed to say.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to give a lot of importance to these.
Some of them.
I am an Ijaw man. I am an Ijaw man that is sitting here. We don't need to give statements to this kind of. So what are they? What I want to ask the question: are they saying that we should suspend the constitution so that Rivers State can be run just anyhow anybody wants without following the guidelines of our constitution? What if the Supreme Court have removed Fubara during the tribunal because he did not resign as Accountant General? It's alleged by his opponents. What if the Supreme Court have removed him? What would have happened? What if the Supreme Court have removed him during the tribunal matter, the post-election issues? What would they have threatened this threat they are threatening? So let us not look at these things. These people cannot stand the nation when the nation wants to take a decision.
Right, very well.
People have been elected and given powers to function, and everybody must be allowed to function with the powers that you have been given. You cannot elect me to be a councillor and we don't want me to function as a councillor. This is the contract we have entered into. And so everybody must play his own part. Even the Supreme Court said that his fear of being impeached, the Fubara's fear of being impeached is what led him to go and demolish the National Assembly. That means he has already been indicted by the Supreme Court, by the State Assembly. Thank you. So let us not even go there. If they go and read that judgment, they will know that the Supreme Court has already impeached Fubara. But that is not what we want. And that is why I'm applauding the Martin Semewule Assembly for taking the steps of reconciliation, calling you to come. Let us clear these things.